Hey there, Priscilla here, your Pampered Chef Consultant, always here to help you save some time and money in the kitchen. I was doing one of our TasteBuds meals tonight. Every month I get a set of 3 different seasonings, and so this month's seasonings are everything but the bagel, rotisserie seasoning, which I love, and our everything but the pizza seasoning. So one of the recipes, they also give you recipe cards, and one of the recipes is pizza chili. So I thought I'd do that. There's also a meatball sub using the rotisserie seasoning. There is an everything but the bagel mac and cheese using the everything but the bagel seasoning, of course. And then we've got our pizza chili made with our pizza seasoning. So, and there's also a card that gives you a great other tips that you can use these for. Vegetarian options as well as meat options too. So first thing first, I'm going to turn on my stove. I'm going to use my cast iron stock pot, and we're going to heat that up, put a little bit of olive oil in there, and we're going to just chop up some onion. Now I've got onion and pepper, and I haven't made this recipe before, so let's see here. Which one is my card? Here we go. Let me make sure I don't mess those up. And so we're just going to chop up some onion, and I'm going to use my food chopper since it's just one onion. And what I do for that is we chop right in the lid. If you're using your flexible cutting mats, you do not want to chop on those because they are not thin. They are not thick enough to protect your countertop. Get a little frustration out, just pound it. And then we're gonna chop that up. And I had those in pretty big chunks, so it needs to spin around. And I may not have had that where it could spin. Okay, there we go. Chopped up nice and coarse. So we're gonna throw that in our cast iron Dutch oven, and we are going to chop the other half. Then we're going to chop some bell pepper too. Start to hear I chopped that a little bit finer. And you can start to hear it sizzle. So we're going to add some onion. We're going to add some bell pepper. We'll let these cook for a few seconds. We'll add some garlic. You always add garlic afterwards because garlic doesn't have a lot of moisture. And if you would add it first, you're going to end up burning your garlic. So we let the moisture from the onions get in there first, and then we add the garlic. And I've got an old bell pepper here. It's kind of wrinkly, but hey, it's still usable. We'll see if our food chopper will chop through that. We just want that coarsely chopped too. Now, a little tip for you. If you've got some bell peppers or something else in your fridge that's going to go back in bad, this food chopper was actually one of the first things I wanted from Pampered Chef. Can you believe it? That's why I started. But anyway, I had to work a month to earn it for free. But you can, I will chop excess bell peppers up and put them in the freezer. And then I'll just pull them out with chili and other recipes later on. I always have stuff in the freezer. I always have stuff in my cupboards that I can cook with. So I haven't, when you live a little distance from the grocery stores, you don't want to make too many trips. So that helps me. So let me get a spoon. We'll stir that around a little bit. And we'll add our garlic. Let me see if you can see in here. Let me move you over. So once we get this sauteed and softened, we're going to add our ground meats. And this is recipe calls from Italian sausage, as well as some ground beef, but you can use ground beef, ground turkey, whichever you prefer. But super easy to do. And I don't have everything that the recipe calls for, So I don't have any fire roasted tomatoes that I had purchased from the store, so I do have, what I do have is some home canned tomatoes, so that's what I'm going to use. I thought I had a can of chili beans with sauce, however, I don't have that either, so I'm going to use some canned bird beans from the garden. So substitute, do with whatever you have. It doesn't matter. Oops. And I have some home canned pizza sauce that I will use for this as well. So if you don't have the garlic press, I use fresh garlic all the time. It's so good for you. Good for your blood pressure, your immune system, and you never have to touch the skin if you don't want to. You don't want to get garlic fingers. However, if you do get garlic fingers, you know how to get rid of that odor. Rub something stainless steel while you're running water over your hands. Make sure it is not, a sharp, one of our sharp stainless knives. Okay, so with that, we are going to add our ground meat. And I purchased some Italian sausage with the plans of making a the Olive Garden's Tuscan soup. However, it's going in here instead. So, plans change. You don't need to watch all of the ground beef being cooked. You know what I'm going to use. I'm going to be using the mix and chop. While that's cooking, I let it cook a little bit first before I start using this. That way the meat doesn't stick into your curves of your mix and chop as readily. So I will be coming back with the rest of the recipe after the brown meat cooks, and we will see in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back with what's for dinner tonight. So I'm making a pizza chili. This is out of one of our season's bests collection. This month we've got the rotisserie, the everything bagel, and the pizza, everything but the pizza seasoning. So one of the recipes is a pizza chili. Now you've got options for this. What I've done is I chopped an onion and bell pepper, sauteed a little bit, added some garlic, and then added a pound of ground beef and probably a pound of Italian sausage to make that. And you want to always brown your meat before making your chili, because that's going to give it a more savory flavor. Now this looks pretty dry. It was pretty lean meat. And if you're vegetarian, you can always use meat, plant-based meat crumbles instead of ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken in this. So it's definitely suitable for vegetarians as well. And just skip the Italian sausage. So I am going to add the rest of our ingredients. And it's super simple, super easy. I used a food chopper for, and I'm ad-libbing because I don't have all the ingredients, but I have what I have in my canning cupboard. So we're going to add some, we're going to drain that a little bit first. I'm going to scoot this all aside. If you have one of those, remember the brushes that we used, I'm going to just tilt that, leave all the meat aside. There's not much juice or fat in there, but I'm going to just use a paper towel to soak that up as I tilt that pan. Just be careful because it is hot. And I'm going to just put that in this jar that I took the pizza sauce out of. Okay. So simple as that. And then we're going to add pizza sauce. Thankfully, I made pizza sauce for canned some more pizza sauce. Calls for a can of fire roasted tomatoes. I don't have any. We're going to just use my homegrown tomatoes, and I forgot to open that up. Can of beef broth. Or you can use veggie stock, and that's what I would have done. I would have used veggie stock if I was keeping this vegetarian. I have home canned veggie stock in pint jars, and that works. And then it calls for chili beans and sauce, which I don't have. I thought I did. I thought I had a can of those in the cupboard, but we're going to just use some. I've got what I call bird beans, and I canned them, and I think we're just going to put those in place of the others. They're a little bit extra thick. They might not be as saucy, but I may be able to add some other broth to that if I need. We're going to just bring this to a simmer, put the lid on and let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. And as you know, this cast iron Dutch oven has those nice bumps on the lid that basically bastes everything in there. So, of course, we need to add our pizza seasoning. So 2 tablespoons of our pizza seasoning. And if I was smart, I would have had this out already and measured, but I didn't. Make sure that's there. And then you can always, when you're serving it up, you can always add some mozzarella cheese, some bell pepper, pepperoni, whatever you want, since it is a pizza chili. Serve it up with a little salad. I need a little bit more, I think. There we go. We'll stir that up. And it'll bring to a simmer, and we'll just reduce it and cook for 25 to 30 minutes. So it comes together pretty quickly, and I think no matter what you put in it, it's going to be good. So we're getting into the cool nights, so I think that's going to be something that'll be nice for fall season with everybody busy. You could always even do it in a slow cooker if you wish. I'm going to move that. I tilted that kind of funny after. Straighten that up on the bar, set my timer, and it will be good to go. So, and there will be enough to share with somebody. So 25 minutes. So that's all that is. That is our pizza chili. And if you've got any questions on that, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to add some super veggie powder to that as well. Whenever I take that off, I'm going to stir some of this in to add some extra veggies to it for my benefit. Okay, this is, I will say too, for anybody who subscribes to TasteBuds or Enrichables, from now on, the 17th to the 27th of every month, there's going to be an ad on Marketplace with some additional seasonings and additional items that are available to you exclusively for that period of time. You can order those. They will come with your TasteBuds or your Enrichable subscription, and there will be no shipping charges on those. So that's a plus for you as well. But hope you guys will like this. I'm going to give it a shot, and I will be back with a finished picture of the finished dish. Thanks for joining me.